Alright, y'all. What the hell is going on? How is everybody? So, we are just about to finish up the mowing job here. And we have got quite a bit of work to do. But oh my god, Larkin is just so mean. He's just so arrogant. Oh, don't worry, we're gonna have some real fun with that. All right, so that is done. So I think for now we can head back to the farm. You might notice that we have 400,058 591. Where the hell did that come from? Well, thanks to Evan, who has limed our fields, which we owe Ev, I believe it's 18.7 for the lime. And on top of that, we are going to be placing the house today. We are also going to be placing the bin. And, well, we are going to talk about college football. We are going to talk about Dylan because, well, I have a new missive on that. And, well, I just certainly cannot help myself with the he's just so arrogant. That was just stellar this morning. You might notice that, well, we have certainly expanded some operations here. So we have a bunch of trees down so far. Looks like Ev has got another trailer loaded. We need to load it up a little bit more. And then, of course, we have these ones over here. But my goodness, we have expanded. Check this out. And we're not even close to done yet. We got a lot of freaking land. So that'll be fun. Like, no, I just can't get enough of the Sorsby comments, which I'm sure I'm gonna piss some people off tonight because I am gonna probably mention a certain team that's local. By the way, you do realize that I root for the Wolverines, right? Like, you do realize that. But now, we can get into that because, quite frankly, the the comments are hilarious as far as where we are with the sport. And then and then of course this morning the reaction to fucking to fucking Larkin. Oh shit. I can't get enough. So I'm just telling you, I am probably going to imitate John over and over again. With the me no like Larkin's list because it mean. What? Ah, sweet Jesus. Okay, apparently we're in the top of the 6. Okay, cool. Alright, so we are probably going to start here because, well, that's how we have over $400,000. We have already paid Evan. Then on top of that, we need to do some mowing. I don't know how exactly we're going to plant this, but this is lawn, ready to go. We need to place the house. We need to build some roads. So, yeah. We're going to be using this thing. So, we can try that. We are going to get to place the bin as well. But I reckon I should probably cut these up into pieces first. I would think. But I reckon we'll see. Because there's this one. There is, looks like these ones, those, and those. So, let's just start freaking, okay, well that needs to be cut. We'll start loading up the trailer and taking that in. And then we can go from there. But, yeah. We are going to talk Sorsby tonight. We will make a mention of the Tigers, who are in the bottom of the 6th, currently leading the Minnesota Twins. So that's nice to see, even though it is a 5-4 game, plus a late start. I do have a mention of the Lions. Well, actually, I have 2 mentions of the Lions because one I just think is completely asinine. The other one is, well, one that CBS Sports put together. And then, of course, I have received a new missive about Larkin. And I will just tell you that, to me, if that is the case, that this missive is in fact true, which I have no reason to believe it isn't, the point would be is that, to me, it makes Steve Yzerman look even dumber than he already is. I think it's going to be hilarious if this is true. And not only that, but, well, it just makes the morning show even funnier. John, who is basically a dude's dude. And then you got a cat enthusiast talking about integrity. Yeah, that'll go over well. Closeted Wolverine. Oh, man. Somebody get him his cat. He needs to pet it. Oh, my God. But no. This is a source I trust. And honestly, I hope it's true. I really do. Because you got the caveman take of me no like Larkin. List mean. Okay. And then, of course, there's the cat enthusiast. Oh, God. It's just so absurd and arrogant that he only put 3 teams on here, man. Are you serious? How could Dylan do that to us? Oh my. We'll get to the missive a little bit later, but I have been sitting on this all day. I gotta get to these comments because, my God, what a sport. So, you have conferences talking, you basically have everybody talking in the sport of college football about Brendan Sorsby, who made over $90,000, or who bet $90,000, along with the fact of that made over 4,000 bets, including, on his own team. And, well, obviously, if you're a sports fan, you know that, well, other players who are making even more or even less than $6 million get punished worse than this kid. But, irreparable damage and things. Alright, so Sorsby admitted to thousands of bets on sports, including 40 on his own team. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips says the ruling represents a, quote, horrendous pattern that is eroding the integrity of our process. A Big 12 commissioner or athletic director, excuse me, added to ESPN that they are disgusted and added, "We have officially lost our soul." Gee, you think? Oh my. Alright, let's see what the hell we get from this. 4,100. Really? Only one piece didn't tell? Alrighty then. That can stay there for right now because, well, we know we ain't going to get much out of that. TCU head coach Sonny Dykes. Boy, that sounds familiar from a certain 2023 year. Said, "How is anyone ever going to trust the outcome of a game?" Georgia has forbid its schools teams playing against Texas Tech. Big Ten officials. Oh, good. Big Ten officials. You mean TV scumbags? Are expected to discuss in the upcoming days a league-wide mandate to not schedule Texas Tech in any sport in the regular season. So only in the regular season they're not going to play Texas Tech. Yeah, that really does anything. Per 3 Big Ten sources, that came in the wake of the Nebraska AD Troy Dannon telling ESPN that his high school teams are not allowed, or that his school's teams are not allowed to schedule the Red Raiders. Florida AD Scott Strickland was stunned. Brought up baseball's scandal with the Black Sox. Not sure how that fits here, but okay. Quote, as someone who grew up reading about the Black Sox scandal and seeing what happened to Pete Rose, and just the understanding how bright that line seemed to be in all of American sports. I'm stunned that there would be a question at the court level that this is acceptable. TCU athletic director Mike Buddy and Kansas State AD Gene Taylor both told ESPN that there has been informal chatter in the league about schools not playing Texas Tech this year. We anticipate having conversations surrounding it. Buddy told ESPN, we're all anticipating it, but this has not been formally discussed. The Big 12 athletic directors are set to have a conference call Tuesday with the commissioner. Basically, the meeting will be about Texas Tech. Quote, the ramifications of today's ruling, Monday's ruling, are significant and could have broad impacts across college athletics, creating great concern amongst our membership. Taylor did not hold back on with his opinions, calling it a sad day for not only college athletics, but college sports in general. I give him credit for admitting and seeking help for his addiction, but to put him back in a high-profile, stressful role with that type of an issue is not helping him. But I'm not an addiction professional, so what do I know? More than likely, that's probably my favorite comment so far. Utah athletic director Mark Harlan said that he was disheartened by the news. Quote, Sorsby's violations were clear violations of NCAA policies and ethical guidelines. We are all committed to supporting the student athlete well-being, but we also have to have a definitive path forward that preserves the most basic tenets of competitive integrity in our industry. On Monday, TCU head coach Sonny Dykes called it a bad day for college football. Quote, you would hope that there would be someone at some point that says, hey, look, this isn't a good thing for the game, and I care enough about the game to not let this happen. I think it's sad that these adults and these people who are supposed to guide college football aren't guiding it. I think it's a shame. Everyone is looking out for their self-interests. No one is looking for what's right for college football. Dykes added that he's worried his players might think it's okay to bet on football now, as all they see in the headlines is that Sorsby bet and he's eligible. All right, here. The irreparable injury, if he isn't granted a temporary injunction to allowing him to play for the Red Raiders this season. A Big 12 head coach added that the hypocrisy is consistent throughout our profession right now. He continued with, nobody cares about the betterment of the game and its future anymore. Everybody's in survival mode on how they can win and survive right now. College administrators, college commissioners, and college coaches, that's how. Right here is my favorite comment. This line right here. That's how it's going to be until it effing crashes and burns. In speaking with ESPN on Monday, Georgia Athletic Director Josh Brooks, like Sonny Dykes, leaned on the integrity of the game. Quote, I think it's important that we have institutions, that we as institutions, fight for the integrity of the game. We cannot continue to let the state courts dictate eligibility. We must stand up for what's right. This isn't right. If we can't agree on this, I don't know what we can agree on. So there is your comments on the Brennan Sorsby situation. The quotes are in fact damning. They are in fact damning. But it's very simple. I mean, it's pretty simple for me. It's that, look, I'm not going to be the one to sit up here and talk about integrity and all the other stuff because, look, I was a fan of this sport. Am I any longer? No, I am not. The point is that, well, Michigan started the conversation in 2023, and, well, Sorsby ended it. So I got a simple question for you. Where are you at with college football? Just a simple, where are you at with it? Because for me personally, look, for all the people that I know are going to get mad, first of all, I still root for the Wolverines. I root for the basketball team, not the football team. The football team is full of scumbags anyway. The point is that very, very simply, we all know the truth. That's, of course, if you have a brain. The point is that, well, Michigan cheated outright. And look, now you have this story. I asked you last night. You think we can find an even deeper bottom? Because it certainly seems like when we have found the bottom of the chili pot, as I like to say in college football, it is the fact of that eventually it can be a couple weeks, it can be a month, it can be a couple months. The point is that, well, we seem to continue to find multiple bottoms for this laughable, feces infested rat hole of a sport. This news has obviously broken the sport. This news has clearly, now I can't say it like Stephen A, even though I would love to try to, but I know I'm going to fail miserably, so yeah, we're not even going to go there. The point is that very, very simply, is that clearly a lot of people are starting to get very pissed off with this sport. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. Because you have feckless, rat-infested, feces-infested networks running the sport. And very, very simply, you have TV executive scumbags like Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, running the Big Ten. But no, it's just, you know what? Cool. I am watching from a safe distance as the very sport that I used to love and that I believe many of you used to love burns to absolutely nothing but pure ashes. So I think after this, we can place the bin and the house. Then we can get a score update on the Tigers. And then we can talk about the farm series a little bit as well. But people are pissed, as they should be. Guy made over 4,000 bets. 40 on his own damn team. And all this guy needed was a hayseed retired judge that they found on a golf course somewhere in Texas to grant him an injunction. I gotta say, I do like the Dirty Macs covered in some lime. Looking frickin' ghosty. trailer's bouncing a bit, but that's all right. But now, just a simple question for you: where are you at with college football? Because quite frankly, I'm nowhere to be found. I have simply checked out. Alright, so let's move this little piece here. Sheesh! 9,400. We getting up there, boys. 472. Alright, so I think for right now, that should be enough for the house and the bin. And then we can go from there. But with that, we do have a score update as it is now in the bottom of the 7th. Tigers are up 8-4. And I'm trying to see what the hell happened here. As far as that goes. Yeah, it's not telling me, so I'm sure we'll get an update here soon on that. Scratch the trailer a little bit. I do need to try and figure out that gate. But we can go ahead, we can park that there. Whoa. Okay, so obviously we need to save. No, it still says plus 122. Interesting. That's 50%. Yield bonus is 100%. Very nice. And then if somebody can remind me, I do want to talk about the precision farming mod at some point as well. 100% on the oats. 100% on that field. 100% on this one. Alright, so we probably should go check field 5 and 26. So let's run down there, do that, and then we can get back and do some other stuff. I don't think I am going to spray just yet. I think I am going to end up waiting for the crop to poke through the ground, and then we can kind of go from there. So this is fertilized 50%, so we're going to have to get some fertilizer on this field, or spray it at least. But it does say plus 77, and then this one is the same thing. Cool, cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's place some things here because, well, we need to freaking do that. There it is. So I know we're going to have a lot of beans. So that's why I am going with this specific bin for right now. Okay, and then we can kind of bring that out there and go from there on that. Alright, so now ooh, that's 285. It's a little bit big for what we need, though. For right now, at least. So we will work up to that house. And then I do want to set it on like an angle. Okay, maybe I don't then. Alright, so okay, was not expecting that. Sheesh. What's the bedrock look like? Doesn't look bad. Looks interesting. About red. No. Okay, then. Cobalt blue ain't bad. Rustic red. Now let's just go with the bedrock so that way it kind of matches the shops. Then we can go from there on that. Nice. So we still got room to build over here if we want to build like a porch or even a garage type deal, so we can do that. Freaking stellar. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Alright, so bin is placed. So now I gotta figure out. I think we can curve the road like out here. So we can try that. Then this is gonna have to come back here. So that's not bad. And then obviously we need to figure out how we're gonna do that. And then obviously make a road there. Alright, sick. So I reckon. Alright, so we're set up to do that. Need that. And let's start. And then I am going to try. I don't want to go too far. That should work. That actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. So while we are doing this, I do want to ask you guys, how important is detail to your guys' farms? Kind of afraid of that, but no big deal. Not all that worried about it because I know this isn't going to be perfect, but I do have to say, I kind of like this a little bit more as far as the painting goes than I do actually using the paint tool in the construction menu. So we'll try and get as close as we can. That way it looks like we've actually built somewhat of a pad for the shop. And then obviously we will have to eventually gravel this. Which I think will be interesting. I just don't know when we will do it, but we will certainly be utilizing this skid steer. So now comes the tough part, because I want to try and curve this as best as we can. But it actually seems to be working like a charm. I do want to try. Ugh. Curve that as well. So then there's that. We will have to utilize the what you call it, the paint tool just to fix some of the edges. And then I do want to try and go around the shop as best we can. And then if I have to, I can always re-rip it up and obviously redo the yard. It kind of sucks because it's already limed, so I want to be careful, but we'll do what we can with that. Oops. You gotta go up the stairs. So I think that'll work for now. And that will be curved enough so we can pull up the bucket. And then I think I'm also going to make a pad for the garage for future references. So I think for now we can connect these. Alright, so we can hop out of there and let's see what the garage 10-4, top of the 8th. We don't really need a 3-car, but that's going to be 30. So we could possibly do that. I don't really want to go red, though, is the problem. No, that's too bright. I guess if anything, we could go white. Because we are utilizing the okay, why? Okay, that didn't want to go for some reason. Okay, interesting. Now the controller doesn't want to work. All right. Doors work. So that'll work for right now. Also, shout out to Snake Bizzle. If you guys are looking for high quality buildings, especially ones that you can make stuff for like towns and stuff, and especially like homes and stuff, would highly recommend good old Snake. He's got some cool stuff that definitely we're going to be putting to use. And I will say, with a lot of my series, you're going to see, I wouldn't say all the time, but I would say a good portion of the time, you are going to see some of his houses as well for that. So I do have to say, though, I'm actually surprised. I really thought this was going to be a lot harder than I thought. But it's actually going surprisingly well. So that way, this is all connected. So we can deactivate that. And then I think what we probably need to do is we probably need to make this just a little bit bigger on this end. So let's try that. That way we do have some room for the auger. We have some room to drive. Stuff like that. It sucks because I don't really want to take away from the yard per se, but I think that should be all right for right now. And then obviously we do need to plant the rest of this to grass, which we can do at really any point and get that taken care of. I don't really see anything else that we need as of right now. Oh, yeah, we do need that. Whoops. If we do have it, yes, we do. I want to make sure that we have this for the farm because, well, Lord knows we are certainly going to need that. Alright, so let's go ahead. Get that filled just in case. So that's an $8,000. So that was roughly about $7,000. This little shed right here is going to come in handy for bale storage, tool storage, all that good stuff. That was about 10. The bin was 42. It does hold about 500,000 in there, so that'll be nice, especially regarding that, well, this field here is beans. It still says plus 122. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Fertilized 150%. This says it needs rolling, but it is rolled. Interesting. And then yield bonus is 120. Interesting. I've never really seen that before. So we have got a ton of beans to take care of on our biggest fields. We do have the oats. So we will look at prices momentarily. We have beans on this field. We have beans on this field. And then once this field is extended, my goodness, is it going to be massive. So let's run down here, check out these fields. I know these two down here are probably going to need some fertilizer. So we can take care of that. Yeah, 50% fertilized, 77 yield bonus. And then same thing over here, which is our alfalfa crop. All right, so let's start moving. Some of our cleaned equipment for right now. Eventually, we will tear up this driveway, get that taken care of, all that good stuff. I mean, hell, it is still April, so we could possibly put beans in the yard. And then obviously we did utilize this shop, which we can utilize for equipment, which we can utilize for pallet and what you call it, bale storage. I wonder if there's anything in the sprayer. There is. So let's test this out real quick. Let's head down to that field and just see. I don't know if the nitrogen will take care of it. I do want to talk about precision farming at some point. In fact, we'll get to that before we get to the tigers, and then we can go from there. So let's test this out. See what we can do. We'll then talk about precision farming. We'll get into the tigers a little bit. And then we will go from there. So we probably, since we started on the seeding this way, it's probably going to be better to do it that way. So let's try it, just see what we can get out of this, and then we can go from there. So, yeah, the precision farming deal is, in fact, pretty interesting regarding that we're not using the one in the in-game mod hub. We did have to take it out of the server for right now because it is a edited version of precision farming. So yeah, with us using a edited version of it, it did need an update and a couple other things done to it. So by the time that we do get back here, it should be fixed, and hopefully we'll see what we make from the wood as far as the rest of those trees go, and then we can kind of decide on what fields are going to be used for, pure data and stuff like that as well. So with that said, there's your precision farming update. Before we do get into the Tigers, though, I do want to talk about a couple things regarding the couple of farm series. So with the couple of farm series that we are doing, what I am trying to do with this 3 rule is I'm trying to get each series basically within the same range of each other. And basically what I mean by that is that whether it is I think we're on episode 5 or 6 with Grandpa's Farm. So with that being the case, and obviously we will return to Grandpa's Farm possibly either the weekend or next week, what I want to do is I want to end up getting this series and first gen within that 5 to 6 episode range. Before I end up starting the new stuff. Then, as we start the new stuff, we can kind of focus on building that up, getting it, to our liking, stuff like that. And then we can go from there and kind of keep everything in order. Because especially once we get going on Project Corbin and we get going with Project David as well, those might be an exception to the 3 rule, where we might have to do more than 3 or we might have to do less than 3. It's all going to depend on how it goes. So I am trying to be careful about that, and I'm trying to keep up with each series, and then we can kind of go from there and really just keep everything in order. So as far as the Tigers go, they are winning right now. Excuse me, game 1 versus the Twins. And it's nice to see. 10-4, top of the 9th. Things are looking up. But I think, and I want to be careful about this topic specifically because of the fandom angle. The point is that very, very simply, it's interesting where this team is at currently. It's interesting based on, for every point that we make, or that we tend to talk about, there is a counterpoint. Because they're 5.5 out of the wild card. They're 12 games under 500. And then, okay, so that field is done. I know we're going to run out on the alfalfa field, so we'll have to go back and refill up. And then we will have to buy some more pallets, which we're at 260 right now, so that should be okay. So let me get the number here because I do want to be factual. Okay, so you are 8.5 out of the division right now. So that's where we get into this. To me, I truly believe there is two camps of people. Well, actually, there's three. There's three camps of people, and I want to know if it's something or nothing. Just a very, very simple something or nothing. There is the group, the first group that I am in, which is if the rumors are true that Skubal could be back against the Guardians, then, like I said last night, advantage Tigers. And on top of that, the Guardians are in a little bit of a slide because their last 10, they are 3-7. Yeah, you heard me. 3-7. Then on top of that, basically, it does look like the game has went final. So you take game one versus the Twins, which is a good start to phase one. Do what you did to the Rays, to the Twins and Guardians. Obviously, that is phase one for where I'm at. Okay, so it has went final, 10-4, Tigers win. Nice start to this series. Nice to see. We can get more into the game tomorrow and all of that. But I am in the thread the needle camp. Meaning that as I look at where this team is at, right here, right now, it is the idea of that I specifically keep coming back to Scott Harris needs to do what is right for the primary health of the organization. Period. Amen. Hallelujah. With that said, it is the trade Skubal. The name escapes me from the report today, but obviously The report today, the Tigers are willing to listen to offers on most of their free agents, but they are in no hurry to move them. But I keep coming back to, you got to trade Skubal and do what is ultimately right for the organization. Then it is the fact of that you just took game 1 against the Twins. Nice to see it. It is a wonderful start to phase 1. I told you what phase 2 is. Phase 2, this team has got to go on a tear. And I am talking 10, 12, 15 game win streak. Claw your way back into this thing and let's go. But the thread the needle camp is not only just the trade Skubal. This rotation that you have, I think ultimately can be good. Obviously, depending on what Mize looks like, what Job looks like next year, Olsen, Framber, etc. But as far as thread the needle, it is you get a bat at the deadline. You do both of sell and buy at the trade deadline. Then you claw your way and you play 500 ball to finish out the season, and then you get back into this thing and we can talk about a legitimate playoff drive. Then there is door number 2. Door number 2 is you're in the middle ground. And I would tell you probably come where I was at the end of May, that's probably more than likely where I was, which was the middle ground. The middle ground of that, this is an interesting situation, specifically regarding Tarik Skubal, because of we need to see what Skubal looks like taking on major league talent. Not West Michigan, not Eastern Michigan, not even Central. But this camp, I would classify as the middle ground. And then there is the door number 3, which is the keep Skubal camp. Work out a deal or lose him for a comp pick, talk about how brilliant it is, and basically be dishonest. Or you work out a deal with Scooble, who doesn't want to be here, and you go from there and you see what, we'll just call it a 3-year deal, a shortened 3-year deal. So what camp are you in, first and foremost? And then I need you to sell me on, can this team win the World Series? Based on what camp you are in. But no, this is a wonderful start to the Twin Series. And for everything that we talk about with this team, as far as, let me get updated numbers here. Eight and a half out of the division. 5-5 their last 10. And what? Probably 10 games under 500, maybe 11, somewhere around there. Is, can this team, if this offense stays hot, can this team win a World Series? Now, obviously, again, I would have to get updated numbers, but based on the camp that I am in, they still have a lot of work to do. They still have plenty of things to work on. And as far as that goes, the playoffs is where you earn your keep. But based on the camp you are in, out of the 3 that I gave you, where are you at with it? And can this team win the World Series based on the camp that you are in? Alright, so we can move this. We probably can move those pallets for now as well, but I'm not going to worry about that. All right. So there's that. And I am definitely not going to use that giant cedar that we have for planting grass. So we're going to have to look and see if maybe we can find maybe a very, very small one. All right. Place is actually starting to look like a damn farm now. So we will have to hop on Marketplace, find us an auger, get that taken care of. We will have to go and buy some more pallets. I do need to move that, or the work truck and all that. So let's move this. We might get the trailer loaded. We'll see. And then we can go from there. Oh! Nice. So yeah, I am very excited about Field 23 with all of the land that Evan has cleared for us. This field is going to be massive. All right, so that's on there. I don't think we need that for anything right now. I don't need to mow over the bushes for right now either. So I think we can go ahead, get this. Let's check the used market. It's a lime spreader. That'd be nice. And then we do need to check on a small cedar that we can lease as well. And then we can start up front and then work our way back. Get these field edges mowed, make it look somewhat presentable. And then especially since we're not building back here, this little driveway type deal, we can go ahead and oh yeah, I forgot about the creek. We should be all right. Yeah, we're all right. But yeah, that road back there, especially since we're not going to be building on it, we can go ahead and make that dirt as well. I'll probably start right about here where the mower is. We'll leave a little bit of gravel and then we can kind of just go from there on it. And then eventually what we will do is we will end up re-graveling it. And then before I forget, so that's 3 meters. It's 4.6. We could maybe, that's only 2.8 though. That one might be the play. Or I guess, if anything, I guess we could go with this. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to look on some mod sites and see what I can find. See if there's like one that's like the spreader that we use for the lawn mowing company. See if there's anything like that. If there's not, we can come back and then do that as well. And then we can kind of go from there and specifically make the yard look nice, and then obviously we can utilize that for hay and stuff like that as well. So we shall see, but I think the one I'm gonna go with is this Verado. Try that out, see how that works, and then obviously we won't buy it, we'll just lease it since we don't really have that much to plant. Then we can kind of just go from there, get the yard planted, and then obviously we'll have to find a small roller for that as well, which I know there's one that I believe it is I believe it's 5 meters if I'm not mistaken. So we can go ahead, do that, get that rolled, and then obviously get it fertilized, go from there, and then we can kind of work on that a little bit. And, well, obviously make this place look like a farmyard. Alright, so let me get into this new missive that I received as I pulled in the driveway, no less, to my house. It is about Dylan Larkin, and it's interesting because I think, to me, it makes the Iser scam look even dumber, if you want me to be honest about it, which, quite frankly, I'm going to. The missive said that the problem started as Team USA won the gold, and there were many people in league circles and in the Iserman circle that saw Dylan celebrating, quote, a little too much. And after the disappointing season and Dylan got back, Iserman took him to task over it. If that is the case, then same thing as I said last night. It's the same damn thing. I think it adds an absolute layer to it. And then obviously it is about the fact of the missive that I shared on Monday, which was the DeBrincat situation. DeBrincat is due for an extension. And on top of that, however this plays out, as it was put to me, quote, it will affect DeBrincat's decision. Makes sense to me. And then, obviously, tomorrow I do want to get into the other report that I did mention, that it basically sounds like this all started in 2023 at the trade deadline. So I will give you that report. I think it's interesting. Obviously, it is going to add some layers as well. So we'll see how that works out. Now, as far as I am aware, tomorrow is a full day, and I have some personal things to take care of, so it will not be a regularly scheduled 10 p.m. stream for tomorrow, because I don't know that I am going to be home in time. So I do apologize in advance for that. But unfortunately, life happens. So be watching out for a post. I will let you guys know on what is going to be the case there. I think, at least for now, the plan would be is we will get on the first gen farm and do some work on there. And obviously it will be the 3 rule, and then we can go from there. But as far as I am aware, as of right now, I may not be home in time, so I will have to figure something out. If need be, we can always fall back on the reactions. We can always fall back on working on the board as well. So we will see how that plays out. But I would say the lean is that if I do get home at a decent time and everything works out for the best, as it usually does, we should be ready to roll. Obviously, we'll have that Larkin report. We'll get into that. Obviously, I cannot get enough of the what happened on the morning show today, talking about integrity. That's always fun. That was certainly scintillating. So a lot of good stuff there. So obviously we are going to need to put in some work on this farm to pay off the loan, get those trees sold, plant the yard, get all that good stuff going as well. So yeah, I am trying to keep it fun. I am trying to keep everything intact for right now, so that way when it does come time, we can keep all the series up to date, and then we can go from there, get into some new stuff and all of that. So I believe that is going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if of course you guys did, drop a like, drop a comment. Appreciate you guys as well. You guys are the real MVPs. We have now got a garage. We have now got a place to sleep. This place is coming together. So I love you guys, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys are the real MVPs. We will catch y'all in the next one. Love y'all, man. Later.